Look at me very well, ladies and gentlemen, brethren. Ordinarily, I told you that if you see anybody that is living abroad, supporting APC, or trying to cajole you about Tifnumbu, telling you that you need to give him time, you need to give him patience, and the rest of that, it is very easy. If you see them on social media, just go under them. You can tell they live abroad. Go under their post and pray for them. Mr. Kayode, thank you so much for your prayers for Tifnumbu, and that may Tifnumbu succeed. I say amen, Mr. Kayode. Well, Mr. Kayode, I can see that you are living in Canada. You and your family, safe, sound, and healthy. Wow, that's so great, Mr. Kayode. I have one prayer for you. And I don't know if it's going to work on you or not, okay? Just tell them and say, that beautiful reform and that greatness that you are praying for Tifnumbu to achieve for Nigeria, the reform that Tifnumbu is doing, that they said that people can suffer now, they will enjoy later, and all of that. And you believe that from your faraway base in Canada, where you have your family safely tucked away. Abi, Mr. Kayode, whatever Tifnumbu's dream is for Nigeria shall be the portion of your family. The portion, whatever the average children are facing in Nigeria of that Tinubu is reforming, when Tifnumbu finishes with that reform, whatever becomes the fate of those young children that are going to be born into debt and poverty in Nigeria shall be the portion of your own family, your children, okay? And just say amen, because if Tifnumbu's reform is to give the children good life, so shall it be for your children. So if Tifnumbu's policy makes life easier for an average Nigerian, as you are saying that only enemies of Nigeria that are criticizing Tifnumbu, but you are in Canada, you and your family, your children, okay? Great, enjoy it. But whatever it is that Tifnumbu is trying to do in Nigeria, it will succeed. And that success of that thing shall be the portion of you, your children, your entire family. I mean, everyone that is associated with you. You shouldn't fight. Just say amen. That was the prayer they prayed to somebody. And Mr. Kayo, they went around mad. So then that's when you will know that an average supporter of APC, they know what they are doing. They do. They'll tell you, you are just enemy. By the time you finish last song, don't think they don't know what they are doing. They do. So stop fighting them. You can even type it down, and then save it in a draft. Instead of typing, fighting everybody on social media, you don't need to fight anybody. Once you click their profile, and you see them in their dirty ding in Nigeria, don't waste your prayer. Their own life don't spoil. Tifnumbu will finish the rest. Leave them with Tifnumbu in Nigeria. You see those ones who are abroad, just click their profile and see. Oh, it's like this one is in abroad. Go and copy your draft. Mommy 20, God bless you, ma, for this prayer and advice that we should support Tifnumbu and Nigeria will be great. Mommy 20, I support your advice, ma. And please open your two hands. Let me pray for you, Mommy 20. All of the reforms of Tifnumbu, as the Tifnumbu's reform is changing Nigerian lives, Nigeria is getting better, and Nigeria is going to be great. Mommy 20, all of the greatness, all of the success, all of the result and the consequences of Tifnumbu's reform shall be the portion of, it shall be your portion, it shall be the portion of your children, it shall be be specific. Here you get that, be specific. Don't, there's a reason why I said it's a prayer point. Don't fight them, just go them. N20t, all of Tifnumbu's reforms that will make Nigeria great and all of that. So that when Tifnumbu finishes, Nigeria is going to be so great. We look forward to that. Oh, N20t, but here is my prayer for you. All the great things that Tifnumbu reform will bring to Nigeria, all of the Nigerians that will benefit and the greatness and all of that shall be your portion. Your children shall face the same thing the children in Nigeria will face in their lives under Tifnumbu. Your parents, they will face what other parents are facing under Tifnumbu in Nigeria. By the time this reform is done, your entire household, your entire family, they shall be exactly what Tifnumbu wishes for Nigeria. Keeping a prayer. An average JPC, will tell you that now you be the enemy. Tifnumbu mean well. You pray that prayer. They asked one weary online and this madman just suddenly run. It's like, your children will suffer. Your kiniko will suffer. Poverty will kill kiniko. So, Mr. K, N20t, you know that APC is about poverty. That people are going to, children are going to be born in poverty and a lot of people are going to die in that poverty. And yet you are calling it renewed shege, renewed hope. So when they now wish the renewed shege on you, you lose it. In Jesus' name, it will God, the God that I serve, we destroy. Mama Kilode, you know the one who are calling people unpatriotic right now, because they refuse to settle for less, and that's exactly what So advising people, I said, it's no longer like my forte. Put it that way, because people will still do what they have to do. Especially where criminals who are lying to them have not ceased. Yesterday, we spoke about their attempt to target the pension fund. And that guy is back. This is what he had to say. He denies. He said, see, by law, the law allows them to go and use Nigeria pension fund for investment. Because indeed, they could print the money out for them later. So Tifnumbu want to take 20 trillion pension fund, give it to his friend, Shaguri, and his son, Sheyi. That's massive, right? But the trust there is that it will probably make sense if indeed the 20 trillion is going to be used to construct the coastal road. That would be wonderful. So all the pensioners can just go on, they will just issue bond in 5 years or in 10 years. They can begin to earn money from the motorway, the highway that they want to build. But the pensioners will not receive a dime because Tifnumbu and his gang, Shaguri and Co., they will build, if they manage to do the 44 kilometers they want to construct for 1.1 trillion. So if they manage to, if they succeed in building that, they'll put toll gate there and the money goes straight into Tifnumbu's pockets. Lagos state government is constructing Lekki-Epe Expressway. And they gave the contract to Tifnumbu's friend, Shaguri, or so. So I think a CCAC, sorry. Now they finished, they didn't even finish constructing the expressway. They did it to halfway, and Tifnumbu started collecting toll gate that his own son mounted there, and collecting the toll gates. Toll from everybody passing. The road is uncompleted. The road was not built by them, but today the road and the toll gate is not owned by Lagos state government. It is owned by them, Sheyi Tifnumbu. You didn't have to. Baba, easy stuff. Like you two, if you become multi-billionaire that way now, you don't have to borrow money from bank. Okay? You don't have to take money from your inheritance. All they have to do is just use government's name, take money, establish something, and then hand it over to you to start collecting rent. So trust is a big thing. But here is what Wale don't see.
I noticed that there are stories making the rounds that the federal government plans to illegally access the hard-earned savings and pension contributions of workers. Nothing could be further from the truth. The pension industry, like most of the financial industry, is highly regulated. There are rules, there are limitations about what pension money can be invested in and what it cannot be invested in. The federal government has no intention whatsoever to go beyond those limits and go outside those bounds, which are there to safeguard the pensions of workers. Now, what was announced to the Federal Executive Council, merely for noting, merely for information, no approval was sought for any action whatsoever, was that there was an ongoing initiative drawing in all the major stakeholders in the long-term savings industry, those that handle funds that are available over a long period, to see how within the rules, within the regulations and the laws, these funds could be used maximally, most effectively, to drive investment in key growth areas, infrastructure, housing, and of course, to find a way to provide Nigerians with affordable mortgages. Within this context, there's no attempt or no consideration to provide less safe investments for pension funds or even insurance funds or any investment funds that are made available. No attempt whatsoever to increase the risk, no attempt whatsoever to lower the returns that would otherwise be earned. And we must remember that the federal government possesses the ability to provide guarantees where such are needed in order to unlock funding that would lead to growth, creation of jobs, and alleviation of poverty. It is an ongoing conversation, a challenge, a test for the best and the brightest in the financial industry to come up with solutions that, whilst safeguarding the long-term savings, do provide an avenue that can help to boost growth in the economy.
Hang on, though. Is this how these guys actually really talk in real life? That they will say all manner of jargons to actually avoid answering a question. Then they will sound like they are intelligent, or do people actually listen to them? Like listen to them, what they are saying, like proper, you know? Or people just kind of listen out to the buzzwords. That sounds like somebody intelligent is talking. Could you make any sense out of what that guy said there? Like, straight answer. Are you spending the pension fund? The FEC approved that you could spend 20 trillion from the pension fund. Because, of course, as a government, they can write security bond. Okay? But Nigeria's security bond will soon become so worthless. As what you are writing the bonds on will no longer be able to pay for them. It's getting to that, okay? So what that means is that, oh, okay, the 20 trillion, Abi, or your issued security bond of 20 trillion. So whenever the pensioners want their money, we can just go and sell the bond. Whoever wants to buy it and collect the money and give it to them. But that money is there right now. We need to use that money. Then they started talking about affordable housing. When they said the 20 trillion, yeah, their law says it could be invested, but it's not by government. There's a pension fund. That fund in it is not just the money. It is those managing the fund. That's why it's called pension fund managers. Pension fund managers will inform the pensioners or everyone and say, well, we are investing this part of your money on so and so, not government security bond, so that they can steal the money and issue a worthless paper. They first come to us, they will go and print the money for them. I'm going to go and print the money for them, Joe. We don't have anything to sell or anything to give them. Then they said they want to use the pension money. They want to invest it in order to attract investments. That's why I said, is that how these guys actually talk? Do you actually really listen to them? Apart from what they write about them in the papers, or you see them on TV, or you see them reading some prepared speech, and they tell you they have this qualification, that qualification, this, that. In the Nigerian setting, he's attended this in Harvard, he attended this in Oxford, he's been to Cambridge, he's been to this, he's been to that, to boost the profile of emptiness. That's the finance minister of Nigeria. So they needed 20 trillion naira pension fund in order to attract investors to Nigeria, in order to end poverty. And what else? So people should not worry. Even if government spend your money, we can always give you back. Government's money, don't worry. Including all your interest. If you're worried about the interest on your pension, don't worry, we'll give you back. But we need the money now. We want to build road. We want to build housing. Like I said, advising Nigerians is like talking to the wall most of the time. So if you have your money in that place, I'm talking about those of you who have real money now, not like me, maybe I'm belong. Those of you who have real money, the ideal thing is to do your best and keep your money in hard currencies now. You will thank me later. You will. Okay? When I was reading about the Zimbabwe hyperinflation, Baba, except something happened in that contraption now. Except that you have less than 4 years to reach the rock bottom. You have less than 4 years. If they don't put a break on this looting, stealing, mismanagement, and incompetence, if they don't put a break on it, you have less than 4 years before you reach the rock bottom. And I don't know what that looks like. I can tell you. I can feel it. It's not good. It's not. So yeah, Obi was seen at a program organized by the fellow of Institute of Chartered Bankers, and they said he's one of them. He was also seen at Dele Momodu's 64th birthday, get together or speech, kind of. But he was talking about setting priorities at a point. But let me show you this first.
Yes, that was none other than the Honorable Commissioner of Information in the State, Thank you very much for those words. For someone who said you talked too much at that interview, you definitely kept this Google message very short. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for those remarks. Executive Governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, please. I've been advised that we have a seat for you on stage. A round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. The president is insisting that you should be on stage. Thank you very much, sir. You're most welcome, His Excellency. Excellency, the former executive governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter, will be a round of applause for him. He joins the rest of the state. Mr. Peter will be FCID. Thank you, sir. You're most welcome. It is an honor to have you with us today, His Excellency, former Executive Governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, FCIB. You're most welcome, sir.
Yeah, just on the side, and I think now at another forum, right? Or is it a similar one? But he was talking here about priorities. If you have so amount of money, you could actually use them. You see, you know what? Nigeria was expecting to generate, listen to this, they were planning to generate 9 billion naira from taxes. Then they were expecting, they were expecting 4 trillion from taxes. And they're expecting at least 5 trillion from other levies, taxes, like custom duties and all that. Baba, there are a media report that says, oh, Nigeria custom has made 3 trillion in revenue between January and March. Customs also have ceased in other news that you kind of see all around. And then you go back and be like, okay, how much is Nigeria's revenue now? Do you know that Nigeria was planning to at least have generated by now maybe 2 trillion from all revenue the first quarter? Nigeria has only generated about 390 billion naira. 390 billion. Nigeria is bankrupt. All avenue to actually get money is gone. What this Tinubu and gang are doing now is that they are printing money. And I told you when I was looking at that of how Zimbabwe got to where they are. Even though we understand that there are so many sanctions against them, and the final stroke that broke the camel's back was when they did that, nationalization of or redistribution of land, of farms, and the white farmers were told to leave. That was the end of it. Papa Muri, $100 trillion Zimbabwe dollar. Look, won't catch me for teeth. I was like, $100 trillion. They said, when I was reading about that, it all started from when the sanctions were coming. Sanctions, like sanctions, okay? And then Mugabe was adamant. So they started underpricing everything that comes from the place. Why most don't even want to get anything from them. So the trade plummeted, right? And gradually, the Zimbabwe Central Bank just started printing money. We are not going to make enough money from taxes, from revenues, then let's print it. They started printing money since early 90s. By the time they get to the end of the 20s, by 2010, Zimbabwe to finish. What APC, Egbekegbe did to Nigeria in the last 9 years, they were all supposed to be rounded up, arrested, and shot aside, all of them. I don't know how many they are. Anybody associated with APC, a national shooter site, kind of. For you to understand the level of crime they have wreaked on Nigeria, generations to come, they will suffer it. And by the time Tinubu is done, Napoli bag are going to take the carry money, go buy bread. And it's not a wish. It is because he believes so much in that idea of, If we don't have enough money, then let's print it. Priority to them is what gives them more money. That's what it will be the priority, not you. But here is what this guy had to say, Obi.
First to invite Mr. Peter Obi, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections.